Hi, welcome back to me and Mon Ami, and today we've got a very special episode because we are headed into Nice to the Citroen dealership where we're going to take a look, we hope, at the brand new, just announced, shortly to be released for order, Citroen C3 EV. Now, this is a really interesting vehicle because Citroen are going for a whole other section of the market, because this is going to be an EV, they claim, with a 200-mile range, so capable of going long distances, capable of driving on the motorway, top speed of 84 miles an hour, not like old Elton. But, and this is the interesting bit, it is going to come in, they claim, at a price of around 23,000 euros, which places it, I think, about 10,000 euros less than many of the other EVs in that class. And it is, of course, based, or some of the style elements are based on that amazing Ollie concept vehicle that many people will have seen a few years ago and a lot of us dreamt of owning. But of course, as ever with those concept vehicles, you only get to see bits of it. But from some of the images I've seen on Citroen's publicity thus far, quite a few of the design elements have transitioned into this C3 EV. So anyway, as we pass through this roadworks in Nice, let's see what happens when we get to the dealership. So we just went into the Citroen showroom, we looked at the C5, the C4, the C3, but what we couldn't see was the E-C3. Anyway, we talked to the nice man on the desk and he tells us that the E-C3 is going to appear in that showroom, fingers crossed, at the beginning of January. However, he did take us through quite a lot of stuff to do with the car, and this is what we know. Well, styling-wise, as I said to you when we were on the way here, it owes an awful lot to that Citroen Ollie concept car. Take a look at the styling of those front lights and side lights. Take a look at the styling of the rear lights. Very, very similar to the Ollie, and I personally absolutely adored that sort of boxy Ollie look. If you take a look down the side of it, this is where I'm not quite as excited. It looks a little bit like a nice family runabout. Nothing wrong with that, but you know, in the end of the day, the Citroen of me is something unique, is something stand out, it's something that turns heads. Is this going to turn heads in quite the same way? I think if you look from the front, it might a bit, but I think side on, no, it's going to look much like a Citroen C3. Where it comes in a very different way is when you get inside. Now, Citroen claim to have spent an awful lot of time trying to make this a super comfortable vehicle. And when you get in here, you actually really see this. You know, when you look at the Citroen of me, it certainly is lovely, but it is not the world's most comfortable car. This has soft seats. It has special patented Citroen super duper whooper suspension system. It is meant to give you a fantastic ride, and of course it does have 4 seats. Now if you look in the back, there's not masses of space, but it is if it's like the other C3s, it is reasonably easy to actually be able to get in. And then when you look at the styling at the front, that's where you start to get really excited. Yeah, you've got your standard CarPlay thing, and I've got a feeling that there are 2 price points of this car, one at about 23,000 euros, one at about 27,000 euros. And the 27,000 euro one seems to come with more bells and whistles and CarPlay and screens and all the rest of it. The basic one just comes with somewhere for your phone. But this model, that the higher end one, has got the CarPlay. But what both have got, and this really does, I think, derive from the Ollie, is this amazing sort of dashboard which goes right along the front under the windscreen. It's really clever. The reason it's really clever is, well, where do you spend most of your time looking? well, you should, it's out of the front windscreen. And often we're looking down at our dashboard, we're looking down with the Citroen Me, we're certainly looking down to try and find the gear stick, the gear buttons in the left-hand side, all these things that you probably shouldn't be doing. This has got it absolutely along the base of the windscreen, so you can really see what's going on, and more importantly, you can keep your eyes on the road. Now, interestingly as well, styling-wise, when you come to look at the colour choices, it's classic Citroen. They've decided to echo their wondrous 2CV, the DNA, if you like, of their brand, and this colour is an absolute mirror of that old 2CV. It even comes with a rather natty two-tone possibility for the roof. A white roof, just imagine a white roof on a Citroen Me, how much cooler it would be. And of course this comes with aircon and fans and all the stuff that you would expect in a fully fledged motor vehicle, not a quadricycle like the Citroen Me. But in the end, what is remarkable about this is not just the fact that you can go from 0 to 62 in about, I think, 12 seconds, is not that you can charge it from up to 80%, I think, in maximum speed, 26 minutes. That's quicker than a Nice tram. You know, all of those things are kind of amazing, but the amazing thing, the really amazing thing, is the price. Now, often people have said, oh, here's this electric vehicle, it's quite cheap, and you look and it's £34,000. A Citroen Me, when we got it, was 6.5. That was cheap. This, at €23,000, I think it's €23,200, actually on the road price. Don't know what it'll come out as in Britain, probably won't be quite just 20 grand, it might be a bit more, but it is still way ahead of any of the other vehicles, some of which are made by Stellantis, amazingly. It is way ahead of the pricing of other vehicles in its class. Now, I'm sure that this is just the beginning of lower priced electric vehicles, because, you know, clearly for many people, even though the running costs of an EV are often very small, we've spent virtually nothing on our Citroen Me in 2 years. I mean, virtually nothing. The running costs are very small, you know, the outlay is quite big. But this is a fully fledged EV with a 200-mile range that can go on the motorway with a big boot space at the back. The batteries are somehow engineered to be stored under this rear seat. This is a proper fully fledged car powered by electricity for €23,000. Now, are we tempted? Yes, I have to say we are. Do we have 23 grand? No. We'd have to get it on the tick. We'd have to get it on the never, never, on all those deals that you get. We do not want to get rid of our Me. We adore our Me. I've documented our issues with it, which are just about the heat in summer and about the fact that we'd like to go on longer adventures. And, you know, whilst it provides an awful lot of amusing fodder watching us charge it up mountains, you know, if we decide we want to drive all the way on the Route des Grandes Alpes, or if we want to go all the way into Italy and show you some fantastic places, we have to book weeks in advance of hotels and charges in the Me. So it may be that if we could run two things together, we would do that. We would keep the Me because that's the DNA of our channel. But would we be interested in something like this at that price? Yes, we would. Will we get one? Can we afford it? Who knows? But I think this is the evolution for Citroen of the old Citroen Me. I think they've taken that concept and they've run with it, and they've now made an affordable, fully fledged family car. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a like, please give us a comment, please think about buying us a coffee, but remember, most of all folks, stay charged.